They uh, they say time has slowed down because they've turned the particle accelerator off in CERN, Switzerland. Now time is back to normal. Also, that there's plenty to do and see at the new Obama Library, even without buying a ticket. You can wander the grounds and gardens and visit the observation deck, all for free. People who used to live in the neighborhood can get a view of the neighborhood they used to live in. A community garden will be part of the programming. I visited Woodlawn last weekend, but I didn't bother visiting the library. I went to my community garden instead. My friend Joan, she became a master gardener, and she said the more she learned, the worse her garden looked. Some people believe techniques and practices will change their heart, and some experience a change of heart that informs their actions. The Bible was the New York Times for ancient people. Now they're going after reporters there for reporting classified information about Air Force One. You can let your actions speak for themselves or wait for a federal indictment, all without a ticket. Welcome. Welcome to Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Coffee Hour, we talk about everything and nothing. Recently, we talked about causing a stir in order to get something done, wanting control versus contributing something, doing something or waiting for divine intervention, and living in our time and in God's time. The readings at Washington National Cathedral are from Isaiah. May my words be your will. And from Romans, the suffering of this present time, it's already been reported in the New York Times before it even happens. The gospel reading was from Matthew. Jesus was a terrible gardener. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral was by Rose Duncan. Rose explained how terrible everything is in the world today, and that because of that, it's easy to lose faith in God. She said things are so bad we must take action against it now. Rose said first century farmers sowed the seeds on top of the soil first and then plowed them into the ground. Being faithful is not an invitation to be silent, but a call to plow evil under the ground. I suspect Rose has a very clear idea of who the evil one is, and she's hoping that Democrats will be voted back into office in November. Rose said we need to resist that narrative too. The evil one comes in many forms, including amplifying false narratives about how justice takes a long time and that we just need to wait a little bit longer. Instead, we need to stand up and fill the gap of progress and make it happen now. Wondering if we have the strength to do so is self-defeating. The spirit of life will set us free. We don't need to operate out of the exhaustion of the world. We don't need to let our hope be strangled by all the weeds. We can look into the face of a broken world and resist evil, sowing our seeds of hope and plowing evil under the ground, not by our own strength, but with God's help. The sermon at St. James Cathedral here in Chicago was by Stephen Balke. Stephen said, we're never in the same place twice because we're a different person every time we visit a place. But this Sunday, we were in a different place. Church was held in the basement because the sanctuary is being refitted for a new organ. A visitor from the UK told me at coffee hour that the new organ is from City Temple, London. They divested themselves of the organ because they went banjo and guitar. Their loss will be St. James' gain. Stephen said all people deserve respect. Respect is the minimum amount of love because it recognizes everyone's human dignity. Stephen said we shouldn't be discouraged when no one shows up. We never know who needs to hear that message today. It's the least we can do. We can sow the seeds regardless of where they land. That's our opportunity to be the sower, to be the amateur gardeners in the world of people's hearts. Thanks be to God. I inherited a garden project this year at Holy Name Cathedral from a lovely Vietnamese priest, Father Tan. Father Tan liked bright colors and vibrant hues. When I ordered the plants this spring from the commercial grower, I selected varieties I had never considered before. Instead of the cool, sophisticated palette of blue and white, which I much prefer, I chose a riot of color instead. It turned out to be to stunning effect. I'm an amateur gardener, and I've worked in a lot of community gardens and with a handful of master gardeners. Master gardeners seem to believe it's their way or the highway, and somehow they forget about the community garden part, and someone always seems to get plowed under. While I was gardening at Holy Name this week, a small group of demonstrators showed up at the corner with flags and banners. Honk if you love Jesus. And many passing cars slowed down to do just that, to honk their horns. The group was protesting socialism, abortion, and the LGBTQ agenda. In the Gold Coast, they'd call these people white Christian nationalists. In this country, we have an allegiance to the Republic. It's the premise of who we are and how we're defined, whatever they call you. We can practice behaviors and techniques to elicit a change of heart, or we can just have a change of heart that informs our ways. Some are alarmed at the rise of democratic socialism in this country because no one wants to be forced to change their ways. Someone told me recently that my recordings kind of come across as Looney Tunes and that I might be crazy. Fashion designer Elsa Schiaparelli said, "Fashion is always outrageous in outrageous times." I'd rather be crazy than have anything in this world make sense to me. We're all the product of the company we keep. You can be the product of the world or the product of someone pointing to the best is yet to come. If you would like to join me at coffee hour, I will include my email in the description of this video. Be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.